I'm Jamie Carragher, and you are listening to the Kopite Podcast.
What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Kopite Podcast. It is Drink and Discuss episode 2, and it's Mick, as you can see, and Kristian, as you can see, once again. Before we get stuck into it all, Kristian, I like your t-shirt, lad. How's it going?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. A little bit tight, but it's had 2 weeks of trying to sort out my car that is just giving me a headache, and then probably buying a new one in the days to come. So been dealing with that, and it's just life. Like we said before we started this, like it's just dealing with life sometimes. Not like stressful, but still just fucking annoying when you need a car and you don't have one. You just realize how much you need a car at the point where you don't have one. So it's just the same, really. Like you'd be like, oh, we need to go food shopping, or we need to do this, or go and get Salma from preschool with a car if it's rain. It's like, yeah, we don't have one at the moment, so go out in the rain then. Fuck's sake. But yeah. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I feel your pain. Like when you don't have your car for a few days, it's just a killer, isn't it? So it is a proper first world problem. Like it's like, yeah, I've got a house and I've got shelter and food and like place to sleep and whatever. It's like, my fucking car's not working, for fuck's sake. Comments we have got. Paul is in the chat. Evening Paul, how are you doing? And yeah, I put a little, I done it quite late in the day. I put a little message up on Twitter asking for like a starter question, just because I thought like these shows are a bit different. Like we can talk about, obviously going to talk about Liverpool because we didn't get around to talking about Brentford and all that. But before we start, I just thought it'd be a laugh to have a little chat about a question. And the first one I seen was Doug's, to be fair. So we're gonna go straight to that one. So as you can see at the bottom, and if you're just listening back to this, then you won't be able to see this. But the question is, if you could star in any Christmas film, what would it be and why? Well, I'll tell you what Doug wanted. He said he wanted to be in Polar Express because he wants to be a conductor.
That's a surprise.
It's a bit of a niche, what's it called? Like route to go to what you'd aspire to be, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's different than footy player or astronaut or whatever people want to be, kids want to be these days. I haven't got a clue. But what do you reckon, lad? What film would you want to be in?
I just had like a quick think of that when you read the question before we started, and I would probably say Home Alone. That would probably be my pick. And why? I don't know. I just fancy to be in that big house on my own, eating the ice cream that Kevin does, and watching movies, and don't have to bother about anyone or anything really. So yeah, and then obviously smash a few burglars on the head with things, irons, and do all that crazy thing. So that would be cool. Yeah, so I would probably pick that because it's a legendary movie, isn't it? Like especially for during the Christmas period.
Yeah, especially for our age group as well. Like that's like one you watched every year. Well, still watch it every year. It's always on, isn't it? I don't know. There's quite a few for me because I think the first one I thought of was Elf, because Will Ferrell, and it's became it's a bit of a cult classic in it now. I guess when people are thinking about Christmas films that are the best, I just feel like that one and Will Ferrell's just like so good in that. But I love. I don't know if it's classed as a Christmas holiday, but the Holiday, that's like a classic. But the thing is, like being in it, I see that word throws me off. Like I enjoy the film, but what would there be in it? Just be like, just watching or whatever.
You could be dating Kate Winslet. That's all you need.
Oh, there we go. We're on to the topic that you love most, Kate Winslet. So come on, let's talk about that, lad. So let's talk about Kate Winslet.
Already done that. We already finished that topic.
You haven't done that on here.
No. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just I just fancy her. I just think she's gorgeous, beautiful woman. So and she's a good actress as well. So that's probably
After that
why.
bit at the end.
Yeah, exactly. But I always liked. I kind of had a crush on her when she was in Titanic. Like I was probably when that came out, I was probably 11ish, and then it was just one of the movies, obviously, where she had a big breakthrough and she was beautiful in that one, obviously, and then. I just kind of liked her career anyway. I think she's done a few really good movies, and yeah, she's getting she's like a great nice wine. She's getting like more beautiful with age. So, yep.
Sorted then. Sound. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Elf, to be honest. But Paul's in the chat and he's put Santa Claus. Yeah, another classic.
Is that the one when he falls off the roof and he has to take on the suit with what's his name?
What's his name? The actor's name?
Oh yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, that's the one.
Yeah, because there's one where he shaves and the beard just
goes back.
Comes back. Yeah, I love that one as well because it's one of my favorites as well because I always liked how the little elves were flying around in that one with like these like they could fly with these things. I don't know what you call them in English.
Jetpacks, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And they would go like, I can't remember the line, but he says something about they are like small people or something. They were like, no, we're not. We're elves with attitude. And then he goes.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. Yeah, I watched that every year, probably a couple of times.
Yeah. Good shout from Paul. I really like the Home Alone and Santa Claus. Actually, my two favorites. So yeah,
not into Elf now.
I like it, but I think I was a little bit too old when it came. Like I think I kind of moved on from be like Christmassy child kind of thing when it came. I like Will Ferrell, obviously, but I never took that to my heart in the same way as I did with the other two. Because then you were a child, basically. Yeah, and then you just realized there was no Santa Claus and you just fucking left it from there.
There's no Santa Claus.
You'd be like, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, good question, Doug. Nice one. I mean, I know in our group chat, people are talking about Christmas and Christmas trees and Christmas lights and all that. I'm like, it's well too early for that at this stage.
I probably missed all that. When was that, today or yesterday?
No, it's just been over the last couple of weeks. Like people like putting videos up of like singing along to Christmas songs and that. I know you don't watch the videos in the group chat, lad. That's clear now.
I probably
scroll past.
No, I probably saw it's like Christmas things. Like, no, too early.
Straight away, get out of my face. But yeah, we didn't. Let's move on to the footy stuff then, because we didn't get a chance to talk about the Brentford game, of course, like the last game before the international break, and we thought we might as well have a little chat about it now because it was a great win, a 3-0 win at home. We know we've got City in 10 days' time, which is going to be massive, which we'll get onto in a bit. But like the lineup, like when I saw the lineup coming out, and you realise just how many players Liverpool were missing. So the list was Robertson, Konate, Gomez, Jones, Gravenberch, McAllister, suspension, and then Bajcetic and Thiago as well. So massive players there that ordinarily would start in that team in our first 11. So we went with Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Szoboszlai, Endo, and Gakpo in a midfield role, and then Salah, Núñez, and Jota. So I still felt like it was strong, but when you're missing that many, and I think after the Luton game and after the Toulouse game, where we were having a little bit of a wobble, and you were worrying, I should say, about like, are we going to get back on track? And of course, when you're back at home, you've got a massive chance of doing that. But I think when we saw the lineup, I was still a bit worried because I was like, they're going to play exactly as we've faced in the last two games, sit back and counter with pace on the counter attack, and that's what they tried to do. But I feel like that side proved that its worth and showed its worth in that game as well.
Yeah, and it's a massive loss when you see that both Gomez and Konate is out from, like you're not expecting that, and then they both out, and you have to throw Matip in there, which is obviously not bad, because as long as he's not, injured, he's a very good defender. But when you look as well at, Gakpo playing that midfield midfield role.
Too many whiskies for you, lad.
Yeah, but then you're thinking he's done that before, but maybe not, in the same kind of formation or in the same kind of role. But still, that he's a quality player. So I wasn't concerned. It's just the way that, we got two like defenders out from nowhere, really. But then when you look at the front three, I was thinking, when we got Gakpo in midfield and then Darwin Núñez playing up front and obviously Salah Jota, I felt that we are strong enough at home to cause them troubles with them players. And defensively, we should be okay as well, especially looking at midfield with Szoboszlai and Endo as well, even though, he still maybe kind of gets into his football with us. I wasn't that concerned. It was more the feeling of let us start quickly and take control. I felt if we do that, we got a great chance to just get this win, which we did in the end. But it's just maybe it's just a blessing in disguise that the international break comes now, because the players who are out injured will then have time to come back ahead of the City game, which is so important for us.
Yeah, I think Klopp confirmed before the game, Jones and Gravenberch will both be back after the City game. We don't know about. I don't know about Gomez and Kanate and stuff, but hopefully, we've got enough time now to.
I think it was just a minor hamstring, something like that. So hopefully that should be just he felt something and they didn't want to risk it. So hopefully,
yeah, because I think the bench against Brentford was proper young, and I think you need your bench players as well against when you're going away to City. You need everyone you can get. So more players you can get back, the better, really. But yeah, the first half started kind of as I expected, but Darwin Núñez was just, you could quickly see he was just a man possessed. He was running everywhere, running the channels, link up play. Had 2 disallowed before we even got the first goal. The overhead kick was just just a beauty, and I was gutted that. Neither of them counted. It was the first one was especially close, but he's involved in the first goal, and it's a lovely bit of play. And he plays Salah in, lovely little ball, and then when Salah's in that position, you're just expecting the ball to go into the back of net, and that's, I think, Jota. You could see Jota on the pen spot kind of summed it up perfectly. He just done about 10 fist pumps, and that's kind of how we all felt. Just because when you're getting into games like that and you're getting close to half time, you're kind of wondering, or you're hoping it's not going to be one of them games where you're just banging on the door all day and you never score. So to get the breakthrough at 39th minute, I think that was just a thank fuck for that. We finally got the goal. But Núñez getting another assist for, I think that's 9 assists for Salah now in a row, which is just 9 assists for the club, all for Salah. It's just a ridiculous stat. Mm-hmm. But it was just a lovely bit of play by the Reds and a lovely finish as well.
Yeah, and I think you can't underestimate how hard it can actually be to be in the position where Núñez is when he plays that ball to Salah, and obviously the finish is great as well, and doing that basically doing it from instinct. But I think the ball into Núñez is good, and then obviously he controls is very good. His first touch is great, and then to have the quick sense where Salah is, because he's turned around from him really, but actually sets it up perfectly for him. So you have to appreciate the quality from Núñez there, and then obviously the way Salah just get his body shaped up for putting that in that corner, the way he just curls the ball with that, you kind of know it's going to go in, because there he can just come to the ball with a little bit of speed, curl it around with basically just instinct without having to think too much. It's just the way he finishes the ball, and it's a great goal. And like you said, to get the feeling to get that first goal at that time as well, just closing into half time is good, because obviously going into the dressing room 1-0 up is something that will obviously be less stressed, and you can actually come in and talk how to control the game from there on. Now we're 1-0 up, and how we'll go out and deal with it in the second half. So that was a great goal.
Yeah, definitely was. It was when you watch it back, it is a lovely finish. Paul says, sorry, given the amount of players out makes the win even better. Yeah, definitely. And Doug is in. Good evening, lads. Nice one, Doug. And we covered your question earlier, lads. So you'll have to go back and have a little listen to what we said for your answer. But yeah, like you said, going into the half time was massive just to have a lead. I think, especially with the results around us and stuff, we needed to capitalise and try and get as high as we can, especially knowing full well that we're going into the international break. And that was obviously before the mad City and Chelsea game as well, which makes it even more precious that we gained another 2 points on them, basically. So, but after the half, we get the second, and I thought so. Simicast gets the assist, like, and obviously they stop playing whatever and we're checking and all that. But that was Simicast's first assist of the day. You get to the second one again for Jota, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I just wanted to talk about Simicast because I thought like he's had a bit of a mad time. I think maybe being first choice has been quite difficult for him because he's been second choice for so long, and Robertson plays all the games. Simicast comes in, so there's not as much pressure on him. So I think being the main man and the main fella in that area of the pitch, I think you've seen like in times in games, especially when you're at the game, you see like Klopp kind of having quite a lot of chats with him and trying to give him a bit of confidence, I guess. And I think that's hopefully starting to work a little bit because I think in this game was his best game for a while, because what's been annoying me is that when he gets forward, he tends to just stop on the halfway line, cut back and play it back, whereas in this game he was actually bombing on forward, making a pass, making a further run, trying to get involved, trying to put crosses into the box, stuff that we know Robbo does, and I'm sure Klopp said that to him, like, we need you to be doing stuff that Robbo does, like watch a few of these clips of Robbo, how he does it, try and replicate that as best as you can. Of course, he's not going to be anywhere near as good as Robbo because how good Robbo is, but if you can be make a good replica of what Robbo does until we get Robbo back, of course, that's going to be massive for us. But I feel like this was hopefully just like a massive boost for him as well and his confidence, because I think maybe his confidence took a bit of a hit. And I think this game, getting 2 assists and playing quite well on the best for a while, I was really pleased for him.
Yeah, and I think Tsimikas have had his stick from the fan base, and maybe rightly so. In a couple of games, he hasn't been to the level where he actually was when he came to us. And I thought when we bought him and he came in and played a few games, I thought, well, here we have someone who can actually cover for Robertson in a great sense, But I think last season, no one was really good. The whole team was struggling, but this season he has been struggling, and I would say, it's sad in one way, but you have to sometimes just be a little bit cruel and say the truth. And I don't think he's good enough to play on this level for consistently. Like, he doesn't have that quality. But I think as a backup, yes, because you can have, if you're not City and you can buy world class 2, like 3 left back players of world class quality. You just have to find someone who can do the job when your first one is out. Like Robertson is now. But I think if he can build on this, he can probably prove, I wouldn't say people wrong, but prove that he can play for us a backup. But I don't think he will ever be the player where, we would talk about him as a massive influence or impact player, like obviously Robertson and Trent has been on the side with, all the assists and stuff. Obviously he had 2 assists now, but in the long run, obviously, I know that we gave him a new contract as well. But, as a backup, as someone who also seems to be a good lad to have in the squad, he seems to be, fun to be around. He always joking with people. He's the Scouse Greek or the Greek Scouse or whatever you want to call him, and doing all that kind of stuff. And he's doing his Scouse accent in video films and stuff. So he's certainly a guy that makes you laugh, have a good feeling in the dressing room, probably get along with all the lads as well, being a mate, if you like. So that's good, and he's doing his job, and he's doing it okay. He's doing it to a level where he's doing it, in a way that helps us. But he will never be the player, that will bring us forward, if you like, and if you know what I mean. So. But I'm pleased for him. So hopefully it goes on from here to find more form, and then he will be obviously a bit more helpful. But, in one way, I can't wait until Robertson is back, because it's a different level, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Robbo's just, I think it's clear that he's just, even when Robbo's going through a bit of maybe a bad patch, he's still just a beast, isn't he? I think he's just still trying to, but before he got injured, I think he was at a boss level as well, especially getting used to the newer system as well. I think he'd finally started to hit like the Robbo levels of old in that position as well, which was boss to see. So just a couple of comments in the chat. Just Doug and Paul having a chat basically about. So of course, Doug's had his new baby Nathan. So yeah, hope everything's all okay with the baby, Doug, and you're enjoying fatherhood and all that stuff. Hope it's going well for you. Paul says Simicast played so much better than the previous 2 games. Thought he was over the line. for the first assist and after the 2 VARs before. I didn't want to get too excited that it will do him good. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it'll helps him and helps us. So as much benefit we can get from it, the better, really. But yeah, the goal, Salah plays on, and that's what you've got to do. It's always the old cliche, play to the whistle, and Salah just heads it in and then waits for the decision after, and he gets the goal. And I think that was a massive, I guess, again, a good time to score. Like I guess any time is a good time to score, but like to get it on the 62nd minute where you're like, right, 2-0 now, we've only got half an hour to see this game out, and of course it's Mo Salah getting another goal, and yeah, just I mean, I do wish like he would get the recognition like nationally by everyone. Like and I guess it's like just not knobs online and whatever, just not giving him the credit he deserves and whatever. But I feel like he's just ridiculous. And I've done a little bit of digging before on like Premier League goals and stuff, and he's now 11th in the all-time Premier League goal scorer list on 149, level with Les Ferdinand, who had a quick count before we started. He played 14 seasons in the Premier League, so he's not doing too bad. Michael Owen's on 150, so he's only one off Michael Owen. So I'll read let me just get the full list for you, and I can read it out. So you've got Les Ferdinand and Mo Salah on 11 goals. Michael Owen on 150. Got Jermaine Defoe a little bit ahead on 162. Robbie Fowler 163. Henry 175. Lampard 177. Aguero 184. Ashley Cole, what am I about? Andy Cole 187. Harry Kane 213, and then Alan Shearer 260. So he only needs 15 Premier League goals the rest of this season to overtake God, which I think that in itself should tell you and should just confirm in everyone's mind, even non-Liverpool fans, that this player is not just a Premier League, he's not just a good Premier League player. He's one of the best that's ever been in the Premier League, and I think it's time that everyone started to finally get on board with that, because we have been for a long time Liverpool fans, but everyone else needs to get on board with that. Once he's in that top 10, and he only needs 2 goals to be in it fully. I think it's just, again, it's Mo Salah just being ridiculous yet again, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think he can and will overtake Robbie Fowler this season if he continues like he does now. Obviously also taking the penalties and actually scoring them, and continue to play the way he does. There's no doubt about it. And if he comes up to come up to the 8th spot and actually get in there, and then we don't know what's going to happen next season. He can still play on this level, obviously, for us for probably another 2-3 seasons, to be honest, the way he plays, the way he take care of himself and all that. So if he stays, he can reach even further up and surpass Henry, even Lampard, and that would be amazing if he actually reached like the top 5 for Liverpool in probably a lot of less seasons compared to many others on the list as well. So again, we know how good he is, and maybe he's not, he doesn't look as silky or sexy or great with the ball as many other players. Like, you can't compare anyone with the way Henry was floating with the ball. It just looked natural and perfect in every sense. It was like obviously Henry in the same type of the midfielder that Zidane was. Everything just looked perfect. It was like they were dancing with the ball, and you were like, wow. But Salah just keep on scoring, doing the hard work as well. He's there when you need him, scoring with his feet, scoring with his head, scoring from the spot, assisting. You can't really say anything that he will obviously be one, and definitely be one of the best players in the Premier League that we've ever seen, and without a doubt one of the best players in the world. When the day comes when he puts his boots up on the shelf or whatever you call it, and just hang up his boots and just say, I call it a day here, and you look back, everyone would say, that Egyptian was probably one of the best players in the world that we've ever seen, because of the amount of goals and what he won, obviously, with Liverpool, and the impact he had in the Premier League, which is the best league in the world. You can't take that away. You can play for Real Madrid, you can play for Barcelona, you can play for Bayern Munich, you can play for some Serie A teams as well, but you will never have and compete in a league that is so competitive as Premier League. You need to be physical strong. You need to be quick because everything goes very, very quick. It's the fastest league in the world, and all the teams can actually beat everyone. Yes, we know that we got this, the cities, and before we had the Chelseas and Uniteds as well, but sometimes there's always be teams that will cause problems for them big ones as well, especially like like Luton away for us. It's tough, even though they are a new team and maybe will be relegated in the come end of the season, but it's tough. And you look at the other leagues, the big ones are they just win all the time, and it turns out to be like a two horse race, or even some, during a period where Juventus just won like 10 in a row or whatever. So to make those numbers in the Premier League like Salah does, it just says something about him being one of the best players that we've ever seen.
Definitely. I think it's just, you just kind of not immune to it, but like you're just expecting them to break records all the time. And yeah, to get into the top 10 of all-time Premier League goal scorers, again, it's just mad considering how long he's been here. Like the goals that I think I even saw, I didn't see the clip on Twitter, but I seen someone like retweet it or whatever, or quote tweet it, and it said that this is an account you've blocked, so I had to unblock it and all that. But it was TalkSport because they talk shit. And it was Darren Bent talking about it. So it's like, if they're talking about it, that's I guess a good thing in a way, because usually they're just trying to be like clickbaity and all that. So the fact that even they're mentioning it and talking about the goals that he scored every year and whatever, it's just, I guess that's only a good thing. But so we've got a new person in the chat, just Kai YNWA. Nice, hi guys, nice to see you. Nice one for jumping in. But yeah, and yeah, like I said, at that point, 2-0, you could kind of breathe a sigh of relief, I guess, and be like, yeah, thank fuck we've got that goal, and you can kind of build on it from there. But then, of course, Diogo Jota gets his customary goal, like 74th minute, and Tsimikas gets like I said before, second assist of the game, and Jota's just like, I think I've said before, like I feel like he is like a rhythm player. So like, of course, with Diaz being in and out of the side recently because of the stuff that's going on, and thankfully that's all resolved now, which is great news as well. But he's had more time on the field, and I feel like that only benefits him, because I still do feel like he goes off and a bit anonymous now and again. But when he picks up those, I mean, like the song says, he cuts and scores for LFC. Like it's that goal was literally a perfect representation of the song, and I feel like that goal was just, I just knew it was going to fly bottom corner. In those areas, he's just absolutely lethal. And again, it's like I said with the first goal, when he celebrates on the pen spot and he's fist pumping and all that, I feel like that goal was just like a nice little nod to him as well, to for the amount of stuff, like work that he's been putting in recently and getting goals and scoring goals that we need, especially like a game like this where 15 minutes left to get the third one to properly kill it off. At that point, you could properly, like I said, you could sigh relief for 2, but at 3, you can the game's done then, and you can kind of bring on the McConnells and the other players and give them a taste of the Premier League as well. So it was just kind of capped off the game nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, and it was a great performance from Jota as well, just to go past his man and then just curl it in the bottom corner, really, to find that gap in between the goalkeeper and the post, if you like. I like that's a goal that we've seen him score before, and when he picks up that space, like you said, and it's obviously nice for Tsimikas to get the assist for it, but it's just a pass for him, and then obviously Jota does all the hard work anyway. So I don't know, even if that's in the stats, getting an assist, I wouldn't say it's a proper assist. You know what I mean? But I will give it
technically, technically it's an assist. But I know what you mean. Like if someone, it's like the Curtis Jones and Mo Salah against Man City. It's a Jones assist, but Salah does takes on for every player in the team.
Yeah, but it's a great way of, that's also the rhythm in the game that we score at that time, which means like you said, we kill it off. We score before half time. We score not long in since the second half kicked off, and we score again not far from the end. So it's quite good how we score the goals and when we score the goals, to just make sure that they don't get back into the game. So with the players that we had out that couldn't play for us and are unavailable because of injuries and suspension and all that, we did really good. And I just think, it was the best and greatest result that we could have before and ahead of going to Man City away. Obviously, with the international break, that always comes in a bad moment, because we would have liked to have played this one and then go to them, because you build on it from the Luton game, you build on it from the Toulouse game, and then you go and win at home 3-0 and you will go City away. But obviously it's good now to see that players have a little bit of time to come back, even if they play for the national teams. Some players injured will come back and hopefully be fit for the game. So I'm really looking forward to Man City away, and we're up there. If we can go there and not lose, would be a great result. So just looking forward to it. Great performance against Brentford, and then we'll see how we will play and the setup for Man City.
Definitely. Just back in the chat again. Oh, it's Chippy. Oh, it's Chippy. So Chippy is in the group chat. I didn't realise. Sorry, mate. So yeah, Paul says 2-0. I was happy as 3 points for me in the league, but we needed the third goal. Yeah, definitely. And then he's saying, "All right, Kristian. All right, lad. How you doing?" And to Paul as well. And yeah, like you said, especially as City then draw 4-4 with Chelsea, that was just a mad game. And then when you're looking at the table after that, you're like, this is decent, because City are on 28 points, 20 plus goal difference. We're a point behind and -3 goal difference off them with 17. Arsenal on the same points with 16 goal difference, and then you've got Spurs on 26 points, Aston Villa on 25. So it's tight up the top there, and I think it's annoying, of course, like international break and having to charter planes and get them all back and whatever. But I guess it's the I think I saw an interview today, and I think it was Van Dijk, and he was saying like it's annoying for us, but it's also the same for them, because they've got just as many international players like South Americans and whatever that need to fly back and stuff. So, but the bonus that they've got is that at home, which is a massive boost in a game like this. But I feel like that we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks as this game was approaching, and maybe not on shows, but like definitely like before recording and stuff, about like the City game being like a proper test of like where Liverpool are, like this new Liverpool 2.0 and whatever. And of course we had a little bit of a wobble against Luton and a Toulouse, but getting back on track with a boss 3-0 win over Brentford was massive. And I think that the City game's like where we can test ourselves. If we go away there, and like you said, I think at this point it's like it's a not lose scenario, and I don't know if Klopp's got that in his locker to just go somewhere and like, right, let's not lose here. I'm sure he hasn't like got that in his mind at any point, just to go there and get a point. But if we can go there and get a point, or if we can somehow nick a win, and we've got enough quality to do that, because I think watching the City Chelsea game, I was full of optimism, and not because the result was good, but because Chelsea were having a lot of joy against them. And I know Chelsea were at home and all that, but getting at their defence, I think Darwin Núñez, the form that he's in, Salah scoring goals, their link-up play against their back line, I feel like we can cause them so much problems. Of course, with McAllister come back, and that helps us as well. But yeah, I feel like going into that game, I feel like the signs that I've saw from them and from us, I feel like it's primed for a proper blockbuster. I've probably jinxed it now. It's probably going to be 0-0 or 1-1 or something boring. But I just feel like it is a proper battle of like two of the like juggernauts over the past years who've gone toe to toe over all the rest of all the other seasons that we've seen apart from last year. And it's going to be it's just exciting to look forward to, because like last year especially, like we knew after 12 games we were going to be nowhere near. I think we had 16 points after 12 games last year. We've got well more than that this year, and we know that this side's much better, and I guess I thought more mature than I thought they would be, especially with the amount of new recruits that we've got. But I think going into this game, you're just excited that Liverpool are there. Liverpool are close to the top, very close to the top. And going into these games, you're just excited about what Liverpool can produce, aren't you?
Yeah, and you can look at the games against Luton and what happened there. You can look at the game against Tottenham away and what happened with VAR. Obviously, that kind of stuck the knife in the heart a little bit, that something like that can happen, because in one way, we could have had 3 points from that game in the end anyway. But, you know, if you look at the whole season and the start of it and now coming into like Christmas period and stuff like that soon, and we know it's going to be a tough period from, you know, during the winter and stuff. But, you know, you can't complain, can you? Like, we're at the top. We're playing well, you know, considering we actually moved out the old midfield and got a new one. There's loads of young players that, you know, came in, like ones are showing their marks as well. You see the players like Alexis and Soboslai being, you know, young, hungry players with quality. We got the Harvey Elliott's and Curtis Jones doing the job. Darwin Núñez is finding his plays more and more, you know, scoring. Obviously, he misses a few, but he scores goals and he assists for goals. You got Salah, just continues, you know, with his goal scoring and his numbers. Obviously, now the Luis Diaz situation with his dad is solved, which is, you know, brilliant and good news that, you know, everything went well there. He can come back and do a great job for us. Jota scoring. You know, we got the best goalkeeper in the world. You know, that you can't say anything else, you know, even though he was not even on the list, but being the best goalkeeper when they came to, you know, give him out prizes. But you can't complain. Like, enjoy when we're up there and actually fighting, and go and sit away. Like you said, it will be a test, but, you know, I'd rather have that test when we're there fighting, when we know that we got a chance to, you know, be at the top. It would be another thing if we were already, you know, 10 points behind. Of course, we always want to win, but we know it's kind of gone anyway, because, you know, you can't have that much margin against teams like City, or even, you know, before with the Chelseas and stuff like before, and even Arsenal. And, you know you have to win games and stuff, and you can drop points every now and then, like Luton away. It's not, you know, it's not ideal at all, but it happens. But, you know, obviously now Chelsea managed to get like a draw with Man City. They have lost some points as well, so they are not impossible to beat or, you know, get points from. So I would just say now, where we are at this moment in the season, it's just a joy. I enjoying this season so much fucking more than I did last season, to be fair. So yeah,
Massively.
Yeah.
I think it's well, especially when you look at last year. Like, I think we knew pretty much straight away, didn't we, that season was going to be, I don't know, whatever the word is, transitional or boring, shitty words like that.
Except for the 7-0 and stuff against Man United, which is just great moments in a very bad season that you will always remember. The season overall, like you say, it's just one that you want to forget and just kind of, you know, get that out of the way and move on and have a new one.
Yeah, and I think I posted a tweet on our Twitter a couple of days ago, just like, and it's not on serious really. It's just like more of like a look of how Liverpool are doing, and it's so over Liverpool's first 12 Premier League games, like since we won the league, or the season before we won the league, basically. So if you look at the points that we've accrued in those 12 games, it proves just how good Liverpool are doing this year. So if you go through all the years, so 18-19 we had 30 points, 19-20 we had 34 points, of course, because we were just blowing everyone away that season. 2021 25 points, 21-22 25 points, 22-23 16 points, and then of course this season 27 points. So to have the most points after 12 Premier League games since we won the league, I think that's it. I don't want to say that it means that we're back to that point and whatever, but I think it's a good sign that Liverpool are now got the confidence and now are proven on the pitch that we've got players that can, like we said, the likes of Szoboszlai and Gravenberch and McAllister, and we've had so much change in there, and I feel like it can't be understated. I don't think you can say it often enough just how much change we've had in there, and the fact that we're still up there and doing bits, and of course we've got a lot of players in there who've won everything and they can guide the players and whatever. But the fact that we've had this many players come in and just get on board with everything, it's just massive, isn't it? It is a huge thing, and it's something that we can, especially going into the City game and hopefully get a good result. It's something to be proud of, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's so many players in the past that we've seen coming into the team, and, you know, it takes almost half a season or even a whole season to make them feel like, well, it feels like they are at home, like that we actually see them, okay, now they're into this team, now they're actually knowing their role, now they're playing on the level that we were expecting. But to actually see the players like Soboslai and even Gavin Birch coming in, that we see them play on a high level. And Alexis as well, obviously people are talking about him maybe struggling a bit in that number 6 role, but he's still done massively good. You can't complain really. We won, loads of games. We're playing well. There's a few where we should have won, but probably didn't, manage to do it in the end. But the signs are there, like we're creating chances, and like I mentioned before, and Darwin Núñez has developed from last season. We could see already then that the quality that he had, and I think his overall play and game has changed the way he press to defend, straight from the front to actually, put the pressure on the ball and the opponents. And then obviously the way he runs, the way he connects with Salah, the way he scores goals, the way he creates chances all the time. It just, I'm just enjoying what's going on with Liverpool at the moment, because there was a worry when we started the season that maybe we changed it too many too quick. Like we got too many out of the door too quick, even though they were older, like Henderson and Milner and Fabinho as well. But they've been a very steady midfield for us for many years and many seasons. And you're thinking like getting so many leaders out of a group, but obviously we bought leaders as well in Soboslai and Alexis. But to just see them come into the side and do have a great impact straight away, can't complain. Just enjoy it, because it could have been so much worse, and we have waiting for them to actually get into the side and do the bits. But they've done it straight away and just showing the quality that they have.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we couldn't have complained too much if Liverpool had less points than this, because you could have been like, well, we've had so many changes in there. It's going to take time. I feel like it is astounding how Liverpool have just cracked on and as normal, back to the usual selves, winning games and just breaking teams down. And I know the Luton game, we won't talk about the Luton game again, because that was just like so frustrating. But Paul says, if we win against Man City, that's a massive statement in the title race. Yeah, massively. And Chippy says, Núñez running the channels just like Sterling did. Get at them. Yeah. And I think Sterling had a good game. He was up against Walker, and I think Walker's obviously a very talented player. But if you're Darwin Núñez, you'll be like, right, he's quick, but I can just cause chaos over that side. I can drift over there. I loved the Núñez where I think Mbeumo has the ball in our half, and Núñez just bails over, knocks him over, and just knocks him to the floor and whatever. And I just love stuff like that, because he's, like you said, he's improved so much, and I feel like I think it's hard sometimes to see exactly how far he's coming when you see him every week. I feel like you're like, well, he's still scoring goals, but you can see the little bits that he's getting involved more. He's running the channels more. He's making tackles. He's everywhere, and it's no excuse. Like when he goes away on international, he comes back and he's got like cramp and whatever, because he's just absolutely running his ass off all the time, isn't he? And I like the quotes that Klopp made about him after the game, and he basically said, he's outstanding. Everyone can see. Look at him, how he kept the ball for us. Who would have thought that last year, that he could do that for us? Standout was Darwin, because Brentford wanted long balls, so he started the press, and work rate was insane. I feel like if your manager's saying that and your manager's surprised, and I think Klopp mentioned last week about like his potential, how good he can be, and he said like he doesn't want to think about how good he can be, because the potential scary. Like, he doesn't know how good he can be. I feel like I think we're starting to hopefully see the signs of that, and I love that it's all kind of, for me, it's all kind of stemmed from the Newcastle game where he came on and he was pissed off he didn't start, and he scores both goals, and since then he's just obviously had a few mad games where he's missing mad chances and whatever, but the fact that he's still the running of the channels and they're getting involved and just being like, he's basically like he plays like a local lad, I'd say, like a local striker with loads of quality, and he just wants to run as much as he can, and it's like ingrained in him to run that much and run with that much passion. And I think that's why we already loved him anyway. And like we always say, we always celebrate a little bit more when Núñez scores and whatever. But I think he's proven that he's not just that, and he's got the like you said, the assist for Salah first goal. That's like very, very intelligent, that he knows to take that touch from Trent and play it around the corner. I feel like little bits like that. It's just like it is frightening to how good Núñez can be, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been into Darwinism before, but I'm definitely now. So
We know how big of a fan Darwin Núñez you are. So.
But I've said it so many times before on the show as well, and to people I talk Liverpool with. I'm just a fan of the football player Darwin Núñez. I love that he plays for us in the red shirt, but I just enjoy players that are like him. He doesn't have to be the perfect player or the perfect striker, but he's always running, he's always creating chances. And I'd rather have a striker up front who's creating chances all the time and maybe miss a few. But if we had like a striker that never created anything, never were in the right spaces, or where somewhere where there would be danger, or for us to score goals, I would be more concerned. But I just love that he's there, and sometimes he will miss those, but you will look at other players who misses the same kind of chances as well. To be a striker also does mean missed chances, but as long as you create the chances, you will score many goals. So I think he's, and you can see the different kind of goals they score as well. You can see like I mentioned before, the 7-0 against Man United, which we can't mention enough, obviously. But he scores on his head. He's the goals he scored against Real Madrid last season as well, when he's backheeling it from where the ball get played in. It does that against Fulham as well, even though he get a bit of lucky. But it's just it's just different ways of playing the ball and scoring from them kinds of balls. So he got it all, and sometimes he will miss. But I just love to watch him play football. It's like there've been many players that you just see and you just think like you just enjoy it because he got something that other players doesn't really have, if you know what I mean.
Definitely, I feel it's. I feel like every time we're going into a game, I'm like, I can't wait to see Darwin Núñez play footy. Like he might miss a sitter, but it's always blockbuster, and more often than not, he does something boss, and he does something to.
I'm disappointed when he doesn't start. I'll be like,
yeah,
even though I'd like anyone else that plays for us, I kind of I want him to start and play because I just love to watch him play.
I think he's quickly proven that if he's fit and ready to go, like especially after international breaks and whatever, I understand maybe he start on the bench and whatever. But if starting 11 full, going full strength, like you need, Núñez starts every time for me. I think he's proved that. Now I think last year Gakpo was clear as number one because of the technical abilities that he brought and how he fit into the system. But Núñez is starting to provide that, and he's starting to provide the pace in behind and ability to assist and score. So yeah, it's not even close to me. Like I feel like Gakpo did well in the midfield role. I think we haven't spoke about that, but I feel like Gakpo was good in that position. I feel like it was a good position for him. But Dave is in. Dave's LFC chat. Nice one, Dave, for jumping in all the way over. I'll say all the way over, but I guess he's far away from Kristian. He's not too far from me over in Dublin.
Having his Guinness, I guess.
He's not into Guinness, he said. He told me
Come
when
on.
we're having a little pint in the Gravediggers, and I think I was like 6 pints deep on the Guinness, like the creamiest Guinness you ever had. And then Dave rocks in with it. I can't remember what he had, a fucking Heineken or something. Can't remember now. Nicholas, a nice one, Nicholas, for jumping in. Nicholas Lind. I'm probably saying that wrong. Sorry if I am.
No, that's good. Perfect speech.
Tack. He says, hey, let's go, boys. How does that pint taste compared to a fresh one at your crack, Kristian? Or did I see a whiskey in your hand? Is that a pun there? Ye crack, ye hand?
Yeah, Nicholas, we were on the same flight. He's from like a city which is like an hour away from here with car. So I didn't know him from before, but I know him from Twitter. So we kind of spoken a bit, and then he said he was going over for the match that I was going over for, the derby, obviously, with my brother. So we saw each other at the airport when we flew in, and then shared a taxi, and then we met up on the Friday, and then we met up on the Sunday as well, having the pub crawl, and yeah, it was nice. So we're trying to plan a time now, hopefully before Christmas, where we can meet up and have a few pints and watch a Liverpool game. We'll see. But yeah, so see if we can get over soon as well together for a Liverpool game. You come and crash your place, Mick.
What, crash my place? Yeah. Feel free. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So have I met Nicholas? I haven't done.
I don't think you did, because we were obviously you stayed in on a Sunday, mate, but we had a brilliant pub crawl when it was sunny outside, and we went, walking and went to all the different pubs and had a great time. And we were like, "It's Mick. He can't cope with the drinking rock stars,
or was it that I'd spent a fortune and you're just a fucking party animal? Was it that?
Maybe. But yeah, so we went on a pub crawl together, and we also had a meat feast at which one was it? Was it not Viva Brazil, the other one, Bemba Brazil? Is it?
No,
It's called that. Niklas can write in the chat then if I was wrong, but yeah, because you got Fazenda, Viva Brazil, and Bemba, I think.
Bem Brazil, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Bem or Bemba. Bem, maybe.
Bem Brazil. Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think when I met up with you and your brother, you had like you said you had like a large American pizza slice each.
Oh yeah, you should have mentioned this on this show. But yeah, on the Friday it was raining, like pouring raining all day long, and after like a long day on the we went up 3 o'clock in the morning. I already said this in different shows, but not about the pizzas. But long day, flying into Liverpool on the beer straight away, and then obviously going in the pubs with you the whole Friday. And on the way home, we're like, let's get some pizza slices from American Pizza Slice Express. And then we were in there and we're like, should we bring some pizza back? And just got like 2 massive ones, and there was like both of them together. It was like £40. It's like fucking hell. So yeah, spent £40 on pizza that we didn't really eat on the Friday night. We came home and was like, nah, can't be bothered more. Just need to go to bed.
You know what though? When like, because we went back to, I was gonna say, if it sounds weird, went back to your place, but we went back just so you could get changed and whatever. Didn't go back for like a little kiss and all that. But and you, like, I saw the boxes of. I thought you would take, like, when you said like large pizza, I thought, oh, like a large pizza, that's not that bad. And then I saw the box and I was like, fucking hell, that is ridiculous. That's like the size of like a tractor wheel, basically. That's how big that pizza must have been.
And them 2 boxes were laying there all the trip, like staying on that floor, because they didn't clean it out and we didn't obviously dispose of it. So we just like leave it there. But yeah, there was probably like half a pizza in there all the time, the whole weekend. So yeah. But yeah, did I tell you about the fire alarm going off? No?
I think you did, but tell me again.
Yeah, because I can't remember what night it was. It might have been, I think it might have been like, I can't remember if it was Sunday till Monday or Saturday to Sunday, to be honest now. But we just gone to bed, me and my brother, and, obviously been out drinking. So we kind of just like want to sleep. And then from nowhere, the fire alarm in our room just goes off, and I don't wake up, first. It's like my brother's like, oh, what's the noise and what's going on? And I go and check through the little, hole in the door and just see if something happens. There's no smoke. There's no smell of it. I can't see anything in the corridor outside. I just open quickly. I'll be like, this must be just something, fault with it. And I just grab it and pull it down and just trying to, turn it off because it ruins my ears. And I was like, fucking hell. And then suddenly it just stops, and I'll just put it on the floor and be like, I don't know what's going on. Then we can then see people running their corridors and be like, maybe we have to evacuate here. But then it's people coming back, and then maybe a couple of minutes after, we got like a knock on the door saying reception. And we're like, oh fucking hell. So I open up, and they both, me and my brother's like swollen and just falling asleep. It's like, oh, in our underpants and a t-shirt. Like, fucking hell, what's going on? And they were like saying something like, you can't pull that off from where it's placed, obviously. You have to put it back. And I was like, yeah, of course. But it was just making this noise, and there was no sign of any fire, any smoke, anything. And they were like, yeah, it was like a failure of the system in our room, obviously. I was like, fucking hell.
What, in your room directly?
Yeah. I said, we're not smoking anything, because we're not smoking, and we would never do that in a hotel room anyway. But it's just like, okay, so it wasn't our fault in any way, or even someone else. It's your system that actually, what do you call it, faulted or whatever. So they just obviously said that to us and being honest with us. But I put it back, and nothing happened after. But it's just like ruined the sleep, and found it really hard to go back to sleep after that. So I was really tired the day after. I think it was the day that we were actually going to travel. So yeah, not too funny, to be honest. Yeah, especially when you've been out on the drinks and then come back and try to just sleep, and it's something like that just wakes you up and you don't even know what's going on. So yeah,
especially when, like, especially for you, because you don't eat when you drink, so like your sleep is your recovery time. Like you've got no other time to recover apart.
What was I eat during the day? I had probably 4 or 5 pints of Guinness, so I got food.
Line the stomach with a little Guinness. Yeah. Nicholas says, Bem Brazil.
Yeah. I don't know why I called it Bemba. I maybe thought that was like Bemba. I thought it sounded good.
I thought you were like thinking like Denver Demba Ba. I know we don't want to talk about him because of what happened and all that, but
Yeah.
good player still. Yeah, Dave's put a little pint in the chat. Yeah, I think Dave was talking I think it was yesterday, was it, Dave? You mentioned about like Redmen are going over to Dublin to do a live show. I think it's March, but it falls on like a Monday. I was thinking about going over for it, to be fair, just to have a little trip because the flights are cheap.
I'm coming Dublin in the summer, but I haven't
There you go.
booked anything yet. Yeah, it like I wouldn't say it's 100% sure, but I guess it's going to happen because we got tickets to the Liam Gallagher show in Dublin when Definitely Maybe's turning 30 years this year. So he will do
Have I
that.
been invited to that or not?
Yeah, I did invite you because I said there might be a ticket
Did
that
you?
is actually free. I don't know yet, but I can't say it will be because I know there's a lads checking if he can go because he might be away in Greece for a wedding. So, you know, to actually get that deal done with his missus saying, I can't go to be with our friends in Greece when they get married because I'm gonna go and drink the Guinness in Dublin and watch Liam Gallagher having a fucking great show. So it might be one free, and I can then check. I don't know yet. But
Well,
yeah.
to be honest, any excuse to go to Dublin because
Yeah, I think it's on the Monday, which is the 20. I can't remember. We celebrate Midsummer that weekend, like on the Friday. So this will be on the Monday. I think it's on the 23rd of June.
all right, so summer basically.
It is on the
Sound.
Monday. So I'll probably try to fly out on the day before and then stay a couple of days. So the gig is on a Monday and then maybe fly home on a Wednesday or even Thursday, depending on price and stuff. But
Yeah. I've been twice to Dublin now, and I'm now one of them people that you see on like social media who are posting pints of Guinness, and I used to never like really appreciate them because I'd be like, oh, it's fucking horrible though, isn't it? Like, I'm not a big fan. Like I'd have a pint, but I'd never really like thoroughly enjoy it. And until I've been over recently, and then
for the record, then I always loved my pint of Guinness, but I've never been to Dublin, so that would be a great
well,
experience.
that's what I mean. That's why when we went over recently, I said to you, like, get yourself on a flight over, and you can have a few pints with us. And it was
I should have come, but it's just like too close to the trip over to Liverpool for the derby. I couldn't manage with work and stuff, like getting time off and money wise when you got kids, buying new cars and fucking hell.
Well, that's what I mean. We went to Gravediggers, which are like, I don't know if it's the best pint in Ireland because like I've spoke to people on Twitter and they're saying like there's better pints in like Cork or Galway and I'd love to go to all them places definitely, especially with the Irish blood in me. I need to go and visit all those places as well just to experience it. But like that pint I had in those pints, I should say, not one pint, several pints I had in that pub were like mind blowing. I don't know if it's like placebo effect where it's like you're in Dublin, you're having a good time, you're with mates, you're having a nice time, and it's is it placebo effect or whatever? But I just felt like them pints just went down so nicely. It was just unbelievable. So any excuse to go back over, I'm game. So that's why I'm like, if I'm considering maybe the Redmen, but if there's a ticket going for, and you know how I feel about Gallagher people and whatever, but he's got some good tunes, I guess. So I wouldn't mind coming over. It's not too far for me to fly over. So Nicholas, swiftly moving on to more, as you know, the show's called Drink and Discuss, so it is literally we're going to be speaking
talk about anything.
So throw your questions in, and we'll chat about them. So Nicholas says, guys, have you seen the official Christmas video from LFC? If so, thoughts? I have, and I fucking love it. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm the same, and I love the little, what do you call it, like mock-ups that they've shown as well, like where like Ulrich going with his like, all right, Aldo, sound as a pound. And then you hear it's like, not that kind of rapping. He's like soft lad.
Yeah. Ricky Tomlinson, just an original gangster legend. And then like slapping Nunez's hand away from the mince pie.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're robbing bastard.
Yeah, there was went to in the Baltic market. I think it was a couple of years ago. Went with my mate Al, and there was like a Ricky Tomlinson night, and got to meet him, and it was just like surreal to see someone who you've seen throughout your whole childhood, to like meet them and have a chat with them, and then ended up calling him Jim by accident. Like, his name is Ricky. I went, all right, Jim. I was like, oh shit. And I think you could tell from the photo that we took, he was absolutely fuming. I wish I could just put the photo on screen now, because he just was not happy with life. I was like loving life, and because I called him Jim, he just was not happy with me, and I felt bad. But yeah, I loved that the video was good, weren't it? Like, at the end, the little bit at the end there with just the last little bit of dialogue in it, and then Ricky Tomlinson says, "Oh, go and get the kettle on, lad," and to him, and then he starts laughing and all that. But it's just, I mean, I guess to outsiders or like non-Liverpool fans, you're watching it going, "Oh, look at these gimps" or whatever. But like, who gives a fuck? It's just like, it's just a laugh. It's just it's just a little.
It's the way we look at,
it's just a joke, isn't it? It's just like, I think it's like we said, like on the field, like Liverpool have got that synergy now, and I feel like off the field, I feel like that's the case as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and we look at other clubs when they do that kind of stuff, so it just goes the way around. That they probably look at us and be like, "Oh, weirdos," but it's just, I try to just close out the others and then just go like, what we do is fine, just to, have a laugh at, and if it's a little bit of obviously sense of humor in there and laughter, it's brilliant. So yeah, nice one.
Yeah, definitely. Chippy says maybe it was gremlins eating.
No, it was definitely my brother eating, because he was eating loads more than me, to be honest, little bastard. Yeah, I paid for him. He just fucking ate them all, the bastard.
Did you pay for the pizza? Yeah.
I think that I'm sure that he transferred some money for me, like after the trip, when we just saw like, I paid for this quite much and he was paying for that. Like, yeah, that's fine. And then he was like, oh, I still owe you for this because I know that you pay for that. So we sorted it after. So yeah, no worries. But he's the little bastard.
Well, we've actually got a recent little group chat with him, me, Kristian, and Christian's brother Sebastian. He's a good lad. I think he's just hasn't got your party animal ways. He's a great fella, but he's
the younger brother. He's almost as tall, but he's just a little kid still. Like, time tapping on the head, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
But then we were having a pint, and I think he was chatting. I don't know why we came up, but I just remember. I think I was a bit pissed, but I remember you just saying to me, just look at him though, lad. Look at him with his hair and his beard, the little bastard. Like, he's very handsome. Basically, that's what you were saying. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember you saying that to me, and I was like, oh yeah, he's a handsome dude, to be fair. But I feel like he's just he isn't like a proper party animal. I try not to be, but especially like if the mood strikes and if you're with the right people, I feel like the pints they just like, when you're in that zone,
you got it in you. You got it in you. That's the thing. The same with me. Like, I can hold myself back in moments where I need to or want to, but if I want to get loose, it's just, I know there's a little bit of an animal in there, like a little demon that comes out. Yeah. And that's what people told me as well. Like, when I lived in Stoke, my Scandinavian friends, they were like, everyone kind of likes you, Kristian, because you're social and talk for yourself and you come across very nicely, which is, I've heard that before, so it's not something that I just say myself. But then they also know my other the other Kristians, so they be like, they like you because you're very social and nice, but they don't know when you turn into a devil. And I'd be like, nah, that's true. So I got I'm like a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde there sometimes, without being nasty or anything. But when it comes to like, now let's go to Liverpool and just fucking down the pints, I do that. But I never tell anyone. Like, I don't come home to my missus saying, oh, how was your Saturday night? Like, the match day was good. We did that. I downed like 40 pints. I don't tell her that though.
No, I feel like it depends who you're with as well. If you're having like a good time, and like, of course, we don't get to meet up too often, like a couple of times a year, so it's like it is like a proper, you've got to go for it and have a good time. And of course, when you,
as long as you behave yourself,
yeah, of course, but you're having a nice time, you're going to nice pubs, you're getting lovely drinks and whatever, and it's just easy, isn't it? And like I said to you, like before you came over, I was like, this weekend's gonna fly, and then before you know it, that you were flying back home, and I was like where have them days gone? They just go so quick, don't they?
That's why I need to come back soon.
Exactly. Paul says Brian will be your taxi driver. So that's like, so Brian, the legend, when me and Danny went over for a few pints, he was basically our taxi driver, so he picked us up and we were being drunken reprobates in pubs and all that. He'd just like give me a text and go, "Oh, I'm knocking off now, so do you want picking up?" And then he'd drive us back. And yeah, what a guy. So if you're ever going over to Dublin and you need a contact for a taxi driver, I've got someone who's perfect for you. So just give me a shout. Paul says, Kristian, I'm selling a car. I'll drive it over for you. What car are you selling, Paul? Winchester?
Yeah, I'm going
Didn't
to.
you say you're getting a new one? No, you're getting a new one soon.
I'll probably get one tomorrow. If everything's all right when we look at it and test drive it and stuff, we probably sign the papers tomorrow. So, Paul, depends on what car and how quick you can get here. You probably have to start driving now, man.
Yeah, so you need to go over, get the ferry over to the and then you need to get on a flight.
Yeah. You can drive it. What is it, like Dover, Calais, or like over there with a boat, or if there's a tunnel, you can drive over to France and you can go all the way up through Denmark and all the way, like from France into Germany, and then from Germany to Denmark, and Denmark over the bridge to Sweden. I think you managed to be here in like 24 hours. I think.
Imagine that. Paul says Land Rover Discovery. Is this the car you had when we went to Cheshire, Paul? I think that was the one that.
Yeah,
and I think I was parked around the corner, and you were like, "Oh, I'll drop you off." I think that was the one you dropped me off.
Land Rover, like I'm going out in the fucking bush, like I'm just like fucking driving off.
Yeah. Put a shrimp on the Barbie, mate.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at the Nissan Qashqai tomorrow from 2020, I think. So it's like 3 years old. 4 years old soon, but yeah.
Yeah, Qashqai's are all right. I mean, I've only got like a Ford Fiesta. Do you know what I mean? Like proper, like middle of the road, like just small car and whatever. But luckily, been quite fortunate with it that it's not had any. Yeah, saying that, I'll probably fucking a wheel will fall off tomorrow. Now that I've said that, but luckily, I've been all right. I've been all right with it. Chippy says there's a Ricky Tomlinson lookalike here in Carnarvon. Oh, I should have asked you what that word was before I said it. What would you have said for that?
Me?
Yeah.
Oof. Hearing, I can't even do it, to be honest. Like,
so it's Carnarvon. That's how you say it.
Carnarvon. I would probably say Carnarvon.
Yeah, I think if I didn't know, I'd say Carnarvon. That sounds Irish though, or Northern Irish. Yeah, Carnarvon. It used to be this captain of the golf club. I'll try and find a photo of both of them together. It was brilliant. Oh, boss, yeah, definitely. And Paul's just saying, yeah, it was the Land Rover Discovery. They are the same. Yeah, I don't know if I've missed something there. I don't know what. But Paul says, yeah, love the Christmas video. Aldo rapping. Yeah, I loved it. Like that video was just class. Like just so funny. Like just little things like that. Just like, yeah, this is why I love the club and whatever, but just little bits that where it's like all those little side bits where you get to like watch YouTube and see the behind the scenes stuff and all that, where you're like just like a proper good atmosphere in and around the club, and like even like off field of the players that we've got. And especially like I think we might as well talk about Van Dijk, because his performance in this game, in the Brentford game I should say, was one where I was like, this is just like verge of old. Like anything that comes his way, bang, knock it out the way. Headers, ground duels, passing. There was a pass, I think it was second half.
Basically a fucking wall.
Yeah, just basically a brick wall. And it was just like, I think Mbuemo has a chance where he looks like he's through on goal, and then Van Dijk appears out of nowhere, flicks it away from him. There's a goal that's going in, he flicks it off the line. And the thing that I loved was the pass where like he's getting pressed and he sees Salah like miles away, and he plays like a diagonal ball with perfect swerve on it right into his path. And it was, I don't even know how many yards it is. I don't even know. But that pass to me was just like, that is Van Dijk of old. And I feel like that's maybe his confidence has been suffering a little bit, but I've saw people on Twitter saying like you should have given the captaincy earlier and stuff, and obviously that's easy to say with hindsight, but I feel like it really has helped elevate his game. I think it's helped focus him a little bit as well, because I don't know if, especially like last year, like I don't know, he just wasn't the same. Like he didn't know whether to press too too hard, or he was standing off too much. He didn't know. It felt to me like he didn't know what the best middle ground was between them two. And I feel like this year especially that Brentford game, you could see he was just like oozing confidence, and like there was nothing was going to cause him a problem in that game. And I feel like it was just lovely to see. Like, especially when with this season, especially we're talking about like all the new players, like we're seeing like Darwin, I say is a new player, well, he is quite new, and then you've got Zoboslai and other players. But like when you see like your older players who've been here for a long time, and Van Dijk, I guess, has been in comparison to them, come like show up and prove it just how good they are, especially against like people doubting them all the time and whatever. That was lovely to see as well, wasn't it? That Verge like properly showed up and was like, yeah, I'm still the main fella here.
Yeah, and I think, he's always been like a captain, obviously, for the Dutch team, the Dutch national team. But I also think, he's always looked like a person with captaincy abilities, because he's a leader. But I think now, when he actually got the captain's armband for us, I think it kind of comes through even more. You can see him, directing more, shouting, being even more eager to, lead his team. And I think that probably, like you said, probably helped him to get his confidence back, to get that captaincy and be like, you're the man now. So now you go out and lead and show what you're all about. And you show what you were, when you were at your best levels. And, he looks like he's coming back to it. It's maybe too easy to say, he's back, but, I like the signs that we see, like you said, it looks like he's just very easily just, pushes, players off, and he comes in with the right tackles. It's not, being behind or running in these stupid kind of positions where you have to, slide tackle. He just seems to be in the right place. So I'm very pleased. Just hope that he's back on the same level that it was before. And from there, I know that the confidence will grow through the team as well, because if we have a defensive line with a leader like Van Dijk playing at his best, that will, kind of goes onto the midfield with their self-confidence, and that will thrive onto the offensive three as well. So it's very important that the defensive line works together with Alisson, obviously. So, if you've got a good defense, like defensive line and defenders playing the Premier League, you have a good chance to go very far and be at the top for a long time and challenge for the title.
Definitely. I think it's a massive that I feel like the levels Van Dijk set over the years are just like, they're not natural levels for anyone else. Like, it's like levels that like strikers are trying actively to avoid them. Like, there's never, in my lifetime, there's never been a defender where you think, I don't want to even try and go up against him, because most defenders have got at least one weakness and he hasn't. And I feel like that's like we're lucky to have him. And now that he's our captain, especially, like it's hopefully you can continue that, because we're going to need him to keep producing them type of performances for the rest of the season if we want to. I'm not even going to mention like title races and whatever else, but if we want to finish as high as we can, we need Van Dijk to be performing like that. We need them to perform with that against Man City away. We need them to be that dominating and that good. But yeah, that I just want to like mention, because we've talked about like new players and whatever. And sorry, we're doing like round the houses a little bit, and we're an hour and 10 minutes in, but we're not too long. If you're still listening,
we're just hanging at the pub together.
Yeah. If you're still watching, if you're still listening, if you're watching back or whatever you're doing, then we really appreciate it. But I just wanted to talk about Endo as well, because we mentioned McAllister, and of course he was suspended for this one, the Brentford game. And what are your thoughts on Endo's performance? Because like as soon as the game ended and people were talking about it, I was like, well, I thought he did well, but there was times where like his second touch was a little bit lax. Yeah. He then has to throw himself into tackles, but
exactly,
I feel like the stuff that he was doing, like the tactical fouls he was making and trying to break up play and whatever, I felt like they were key, and it's stuff that you see Rodri get away with every week for Man City. Like, whenever you watch Man City, when I watch the City and Chelsea game, when you're watching that and you see Rodri make foul after foul after foul, and you're like, where's the yellow card? And then he finally gets the yellow card on like the 60th minute. And you're like, well, he's going to be sound for the next half an hour, because he's not going to make another bad foul. He's just going to like keep making little ones. I think Endo was like at a lower level, of course, like making those type of fouls. And when you're at home, of course, you get away with it more. But I feel like I thought it was a good performance from him. I'd like to watch the game back, and I probably will, to be fair, just to kind of see the type of things that he was doing. But as I remember, like in terms of coming into a side that McAllister's clearly number one in that 6th position, and we know it's not his position anyway. He's still playing out of position, but Endo has been more of a Europa League and Cup type of player. He's had to come into a Premier League game and kind of hit a higher level, of course, against a better team. I feel like this was I thought it was a decent performance from him. I thought he was really good, and I'm pleased for him again. Like the players that are coming in and having these chances through injury or suspension, hopefully it can just help him as well. Like give him because he's still like Klopp. When we signed him, like Klopp said, he's a late bloomer. Like of course he's 30. But Klopp said his skills have developed at a later time. So. And of course, it's going to take time to adapt to the league, adapt to the club, and whatever else, new language and all that stuff we always say. But it was a big boost for him to come in and perform like that.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw this.
Oh yeah, I just saw that. I had to stop myself from laughing. Chippy says, if I came home from work to VVD, sleeping in my bed with the wife, I give him a Red Bull, tell him to continue and go back to doing some overtime. Exactly. And I think it's the same type of joke I've used in the past, the likes of Gerrard and Fowler and all that. Like, just like just give him a quick 5-minute foot rub and slap his ass and go, carry on, lad. Carry on the good work you're doing.
Yeah. But with Ando, I think he's just one of them where, you know, it's hard because you do compare him with Szoboszlai or Alexis or Gravenberch, who comes in who's very young and very talented. And this is, like you said, a late bloomer who showed his qualities in the Bundesliga with Stuttgart, wasn't it? You know, and he's 30. He's playing for Japan, being the captain. But you know, it's just one of them where you kind of have probably appreciate that him as a player and a person wants to play for Liverpool. It's one of the biggest chance in his career when Klopp calls him and say, you want to play for us, if you like, and he gets a chance to come here. He knows that he's probably not going to be the first choice, but in this time in his life and career, it's just a perfect step for him in his sense. And then if he can help us to offload the other players when they need a rest, not to play too many games, or if they picked up knocks or whatever. Like you said, his second, like his touch made him, go into challenges where like there could have been a red card, even though I wouldn't agree with it. But it
would have been a ridiculous red card, wouldn't it?
But the way he has the touch kind of causes a dangerous situation where he can be sent off if he comes in too late. But it's one of them where. He's one of them where you just have to give it more time. Like, it's his first season coming to the Premier League. He probably stays here for another couple of seasons, doing the job. And I like that he wants to play for us. I like that he's very good at finding passes forward all the time. He's very good with, open up his when he receives a ball, he opens up his body and he finds a pass forward. Sometimes he got to have a touch. Sometimes he might not, play the ball correctly or whatever. But I think with a little bit more time, he will come into it. He's just one of them because he's 30. It probably takes a bit more time to adapt to the pace and everything as well. But, I think he's doing a great job. We've already scored for us. I think, just give the lad a chance and don't, give him too much stick without, knowing that he's not the Szoboszlai, he's not the Alexis, he's not the Gravenberch, he's not even Curtis Jones. They are younger lads with probably more talent and more time on their careers as well, obviously, to develop even more. He's at the end of that curve. He probably won't develop much more. He can adapt to the Premier League and the way we play, but he probably won't develop any skills anymore. But if he can come in and do the job in that role, just get behind him and just support him, because that's what they need. If we do that, they get self-confidence, and that's, I think, what supporters should do. So yeah.
Massively. I feel like it's again, like people online it's different, and like to people who are just like watching the team and not getting too involved. And so, like I try not get too involved with like chats on social media these days, because it's like, of course, like the discourse is just mad, like the stuff that you see. Like I saw someone today, I think it was Ian, posting like how you saw people like chatting about like selling Diaz, and you're just like, I want to kind of say you're following the wrong people there. You need to like use the block button there, because like it's some people are just like, especially in like international break, like there's just a weird version comes out onto like these people just come out of the woodwork on international breaks and start posting these mad like stats and like or like their opinions, and you're just like you're reading it going whatever, mate, and you look at the profile and they're like 4 followers and like you're like that's why, mate, because you've just created your account last night, you've created your 12th account because you've got nothing else to do. But Chippy says convinced Endo will be a huge player for us later stages of the season. Yeah, hopefully. I think we need, like, again, to be like boring and say what Klopp's going to say. Like,
have a little more.
Oh yeah, have a little bit more, lads. Have a little bit more whiskey. We need everyone. That's the thing. Like we need everyone. Especially like I mentioned like earlier, like about the amount of players we had injured for this one. You're looking at it going like there's I think it was 8 players we missed for the Brentford game, which is like that's a hell of a 8-side squad. Like the amount of players we had out there, like the amount of quality and Gravenberch and Jones and Robbo and Gomez, Canate, Thiago, McAllister. Like so many players.
I just think and want to add that I think too many these days want to score very simple points on Twitter, whatever, getting like get all the controversy about stuff being like, oh, Tsimikas is shit, so Endo is not at the level that we need, or we need to buy this or that. But I'm just one of them supporters, and I always will be. I can give criticism, like I said before about Tsimikas. I don't think he's good enough to play for us long term, being an alternative for us. Like if he comes in like a backup for some games, like cup games or whatever, and do the great job, yes. Obviously, he scored a penalty, which one was like I can't remember, was it the League Cup against Chelsea that he scored, or if it was the FA Cup, I can't remember which one there was now. But he's still, as a person, done bits that makes us like him, but you can still say I don't think he's good enough to play for us, or I don't think he should stay here long term. We need another backup. That's fine. You can always have your opinion, but it's the way of saying it, the way of behaving and being. You always present yourself. You're always your own brand. Do you want to look like a dickhead online by saying stupid things, because you kind of obviously present yourself as a person, and you'd be like, why? You can still say some people or players are not good enough or shouldn't play for us, or whatever. That's fine, but it's the way you say it, and it just baffles me the way how many just going like, oh, he's shit, or he's crap, get rid of him, or fuck off, or whatever. You'd be like, he's playing for your team, back him up, and it's not even hard or difficult to understand. It's just very simple and logical, things.
Yeah, I feel like there's like if you're the right type of fan, like that, what you've just said is normal. Like it's like, well, this is how I'm going to support Liverpool. Like anyone that pulls on the shirt, as much as you hate them, like players we had in the past have hated like quite a few, like going back to the Roy Hodgson days and whatever. But the players
like Diouf, who obviously was a dickhead, you can't like him. You'd be like, get out, because like the way you behaving. But this players like, even though no one would like Konchesky or like Poles or whatever, you don't like them because they weren't good enough. But they didn't do anything stupid to not be welcome in the red shirt. It's just like we're not the level for us, and we were shit back then. But you still kind of just wanted them to do well, though. Like, even though you'd be like, they will never be good enough, but I'll still back them. I will still be in the stands and support them or whatever. You won't give them stick, even though your opinion is they're not good enough. That's the difference. But then you get the one like the Uff where he just misbehaves and just like a total dick, and then obviously you'd be like, fuck off, because if you want to be like that, then we don't want you. But players always want to try and do their best. If they're not good enough for it, it's not their fault that they've been brought in periods of bad times. They just try to do it. And I think just through thick and thin, you're going to stand there and support them. Then you can have your opinions if they're good enough or not, but you still support them, in my opinion.
Definitely. Chris is in. Nice one, Chris. Chris Brack's in the chat. Nice one, mate. He says social media is just a pit of misery. Everything has black and white to it and has to lean to a negative. All about being the first to call it. Yeah, definitely. And then he says, Endo has already done his job as a proper squad option. He's allowed us to rest the likes of Szoboszlai midweek fixtures, and that's all we need is a steady backup. Yeah, massively. And then Chippy is agreeing with Chris. Definitely. And then Paul saying just having a warm mince pie with cream to go with my red wine. Oh, I don't know about that, Paul. I don't know about that. So you eating that as you're having the red wine? Are you having sips of the red wine as you're eating that, or are you just scoffing the pie and then down in the wine? Which I imagine the second one is what you're doing, Paul.
I just throw in a question there when it comes to like mince pie and stuff. Obviously, people who follow the show, I lived in England for a couple of years, so I've done like the English Christmas table, like Christmas food, and obviously the Swedish because I'm
Do
from
you
here.
like mince pies though?
Now, I was just gonna say, like, what's your favorite like food on the Christmas table, like on the Christmas dinner, like for Christmas? What's your favorite stuff? Because I think there's many similarities to Swedish food, but also quite a few that different. So yeah, it was just one of them random things that I used to throw in.
Yeah, I think mince pies it annoys me the way like they come out like really early. Like so, like now there's mince pies getting sold, and it's like, well, shouldn't be selling them now. Should be selling them
But that's Christmas nowadays. It's
I
fucking
know,
trees in a shop that you can go and buy like in October. But
that annoys me. Like, I love like Christmas and all that. I love it all, but it all happens too soon. But that's the thing. And
oh yeah, Paul says it there. Sorry to interrupt. Pigs in a blanket. That's a favorite. Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. That's exactly Paul read my mind. I was going to say the best thing is pigs and blank. I think if you had to say what's your favorite meat, for me, it would be turkey. I think it
Yeah.
is a little bit dry, but like when you have it like turkey with gravy and like stuffing and pigs and blankets and roasties and whatever
Yeah.
else you've got on there, I feel
I've-
like I love, like, especially around this time, the one thing I love about it, like being Christmas earlier in the shops and that, is the shops start making the turkey butties earlier. So like Tesco and Sainsbury's and that, you can go in there like 1st of November, got a turkey and stuff and pie, turkey and stuff and butty going on the shelf, and you can just be like,
Yeah.
oh, you'll have one of them. So like I get them like early doors, like yeah, I love a bit of this because you don't have it that often. So like for me, I just love it. I just love the whole thing. It's like a roast dinner is like one of the best things you can have, even if it's like chicken or whatever. But then if you have like a Christmas roast dinner with turkey and all the other bits, cranberry sauce and all that, I just feel like it's just proper nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember if I celebrate like 2 Christmas out of 4 in England. Like, and obviously because my ex-girlfriend was English, I was invited to her family, and we had like a proper English Christmas table. And there's a few things that, like I said before, that is different to Swedish. But like when I grew up, my nan and granddad always used to have like elk meat, which was it's
Elk.
dry. Yeah, it's very dry, and but it's very nice, very dark. But I really liked it and stuff. But I'm a fan of turkey as well. We don't eat it as much for Swedish Christmas table. Like they're probably more and more coming in because you get more like international. And you pick up bits from different countries and stuff. So turkey is not one like a traditional thing in Swedish. It's more like maybe you have the gammon, or that kind of stuff, and ham and things like that, and sausages, obviously. But
No chicken.
sometimes chicken, but I'm more like, even now when when we go to Evelina's parents for Christmas, and we celebrate that, I'm actually like kind of telling them like, can you make sure that we have pigs in a blanket, like sausages rolled up in bacon, please? Because
Is that not a normal Swedish thing then? Is it just
No,
like that you've known about and you've went back home and you want it now?
yeah, exactly. So I kind of getting some like, so they have turkey, which is nice, but I kind of try to pick the things and the bits from the English Christmas table that I really enjoyed when living there. That try to pick them and tell, and can we have this for even like the Christmas pudding or whatever? Like we don't have the same kind of thing like you when it comes to that, but I'm trying to add some bits that I really enjoy. So yeah.
Good stuff. I'm actually, this show is called Drink and Discuss, right? So I'm just going to tell you what I've just poured for myself. So I've just poured myself up, and this is for my reference as well, because I'll remember it if I say it now. So I've just poured a little thin lagen, and I'll just show it to everyone on whoever's watching. Thin lagen, and that is one of the best whiskies I've ever had, and that's an exclusive right here. That is absolutely lovely. So what have you got there, lad? Agitator.
Yeah, and it's blended whiskey. It's a Swedish brand. So it's they got different whiskies, but the thing is though, like, it's, what do you call it? I'm trying to find it here now, but it's Oh, I know that I read it out at another point, but now I'm trying to find it. It's been like, what do you call it? Like this. I don't know the word for it. Like it's been vacuum, like in a like distillery. Like you
Like
know what I mean? That
vacuum, you trying to say?
exactly. No vacuum. It's like like in a vacuum thing, yeah. Which is not like the normal way of
Right.
making whiskey. But do you call it like a distillery where you make your whiskey?
Yeah,
Obviously,
like
yeah. So
whiskey
that's
distillery, yeah.
where they do that. It's been like, I don't know. It's just done with vacuum. So
Ah,
it's in a different way to do it. So, but it's very nice. It got like like a taste of vanilla fudge and caramelized sugar and some
mm.
exotic fruit and some butter, like cola or whatever you call it. Like, I don't know. It's like a caramel thing, and then some orange flowers. It is very
Orange
nice,
flowers. Oh,
but
nice.
it's like a Swedish brand. I've never seen it before, but it's in our liquor store. So I actually bought a couple of few now, and yeah, I might next time. I should bring you one if I can,
You
but
should.
then you have to go through tax free because otherwise I can't bring it if you don't have it at the airport. The
Yeah,
bastards.
you should bring me more stuff. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, but you said before that you got like your Irish blood or whatever that you have, but you also got like some Swedish percentage of blood, so you should come over here even more. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think it's to be honest, like ancestry. Like I got like I'm a bit of a nerd, like DNA, like what me ancestry is. So, but the more people do it, you get like I get emails like once a week saying your like ancestry's been updated. So like I think when I first done it, it was like 2% Swedish, and then I think since then, last year since like a year on, it's now like I think it's like 1.75%, and I think it's like 3% Norway. So it changes. So like the more people do it, you get a more clear idea of what your ancestry is based on what theirs is. Like you can compare it and like make yours more clearer, basically. So
Well,
yeah, I think it's
I'm only 2 hours away from the Norwegian border. If you want to go to Norway and find your family there, then I could come there and visit.
family. No, I think it's like Irish is the main one. I think it's like
Yeah.
33% Irish, which of course, like Moran, of course, is the yeah. When I was over in Dublin, I had to get myself a little Moran keyring because yeah, Moran's a massive name over there. So yeah, I had to do it.
I should do that one, and I'll probably end up being like 98% Swedish. I don't know. I don't have a clue.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think you will. I think you'll be surprised like how many because if I've got a bit like say like 3% Norway and like 1% Swedish, that's 4%. So you must have at least
Yeah,
4% or 5% something else, surely.
probably will end up being like German or Belgian or something like that, coming from from them countries, like traveling up to Sweden back in the days, and be like, hey, yeah, let's settle here.
Yeah, just do it. I would if anyone's into that, I would actively encourage. Like I think it's 50 quid. I think it was 50 GBP. That's how much it was. And then you get like you just basically I think it was it's a bit mad way to do it. Like you're basically spitting into a jar. So like there's like a little tub, a little glass thing, and it's like you basically just spitting that a few times. And
And they
then
check the DNA, and they'll be like, oh
and
shit,
then you
that's the mass murder we've been after. Fucking hell.
like, oh, he's related to
The serial killer.
the monkeys. He's related to the monkeys in the Amazon forest.
Found the serial killer.
But yeah, it's I'd say yeah, definitely give it a go. But yeah, just back to the Christmas dinner before we go on to Man City. Like this show is mad. Paul says bread sauce, yes or no? I don't even know if you know what bread sauce is, do you?
I don't know what it is.
So I've had it, and it's a massive no for me, Paul. Sorry, I don't know if you're a yes or no, but
So what is it?
you know what? I'll let Paul because I've never made it. I've only ever had it if I've had a dinner, a roast dinner, Christmas dinner, and it's been there, and I've tried it, and I think it's been there like a couple of times, and I've never tried it because it looks weird, and I've had it
So
once, and it's
so what
just
is it?
it's what sorry.
So what is it like?
I'm gonna Google it now because I'm waiting for Paul to reply, but he might not. So it says a basic recipe calls for milk and onion with breadcrumbs and butter, added as thickeners, seasoned with nutmeg, clove, bay leaf, black pepper, and salt, with the meat fat from roasting often added too. It's made of with white meat. Yeah. It's not for me. Honestly, maybe I need to give it another go. To be fair, but it's not the best. It wouldn't be my first protocol in terms of sauces. I much prefer like a cranberry or like something a bit sweeter, just to go with the meat and all that.
Yeah. We definitely have like the Swedish meatballs and like sprouts. Do you call them? I think and
Sprouts,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Not a
So
fan of sprouts, no.
it's like
Do you have like is it
meatballs.
like sprouts though, like just boiled sprouts, or do you do it with like bacon and all that? Do you do it like a little fancy version?
Mostly just boil, I think, and you just have
No.
it as like an addition to your food, like obviously just for.
On the
I
side.
don't. I didn't like them when I was younger. I don't mind them now, to be honest. But yeah, so Swedish meatballs, obviously, it's like perfect, nice.
Yeah. Well, of course, IKEA. Like you've got to get on.
not the IKEA ones, the homemade ones that you roll yourself.
No. What I'm saying
no.
is like, of course, it's like IKEA is like meatballs. So like people just think, oh yeah, Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
Paul says it's amazing bread sauce. I don't know. Does anyone watching
I
and
never
listening
tried.
like bread sauce? Like, if you want to leave us a review on Spotify or whatever, and tell us what you think about bread sauce, then yeah, feel free, because I will happily get involved in that chat. Paul says Brussels bacon, butter, and thyme. See, that's when I'd try them. If it's mixed in something nice, if it's got like bacon, a bit of bacon in there and whatever, then I'll give them a go. But not on their own, because it's one of them as a kid, like you're growing up and you're having Christmas dinners, and you're like, when you're like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like getting into them years, and you're like making opinions about food, you're like, nah, sprouts are just like the devil's food. Like they're not just not for me, that shit. But we're getting back around to the footy, because we're gonna round off now, because we've done an hour and a half, and this is ridiculous when you think about it, because we try and do like less than an hour show. So appreciate it if you're still listening. Really do appreciate it. But we mentioned Man City. It's 10 days to Man City, which again, like we've said, it's a massive game, and it's a massive opportunity to see where Liverpool are and what Liverpool's new team are made of against their side's quite new as well. They've lost quite a few big players and whatever, but they're still, of course, always up there. But it's a massive chance for Liverpool to show what they're made of in this type of game. But today, it's been posted on social media, BBC, Sky Sports, all that stuff, that they've posted a Premier League record revenue of 712.8 million revenue.
I would like to see where they come from.
Yeah, so that's for 2023 financial year. This exceeds the record of 648.4 posted last month by Man United, and it's a 99.8 million rise on the previous year. So, go on, lad, I'll let you rant about that for a couple of minutes.
I don't know. I've read so many things today about it, and people obviously taking a piss out of it and stuff. And in one way, it just makes me a bit like angry, to be honest, because we can rant about it and laugh and stuff, but in the end of the day, it's a team that got all these like 115, allegation stuff going against them, and we don't hear anything about it. And then we hear about Everton maybe losing points, and I don't defend Everton, obviously, in any way, because it's the way it is. But it's just that if they look into what Everton has done, if they've done anything wrong, then rightly so, they should be punished. I don't know what kind of punishment is fair, but whatever happens with them and the punishment, why does it take ages to keep on looking into what's going on with Man City? And also it came up with the things with Chelsea and what Abramovich did, paying people with, I don't know what kind of stuff. There was, different kind of things that made the club having more money to buy players at the time. So for me, I think it just makes me angry and sad that you can't really trust those numbers, because you can't really say where it comes from. There's no evidence to be like, oh, Man City's that globally big that yeah, it's obviously no problem and no weird thing that the money comes from different places. It's not. It's just one of them where you think like, man, if it was for Man City being, if we everyone could acknowledge that, like, yeah, Man City is the biggest club, they got a great fan base, they sell out the stadium, they're doing this and that, blah blah blah, but they're not. So how come that they got the biggest revenue ever when you know that they are not bigger than Man United, not bigger than Liverpool, not bigger than many other clubs around in both in England but also in the world, and you'll be like, you can't trust them because of what's going on in the past and the last season when all these things came on about the 115 charges. You just feel like there's always something going on there which you can't trust, and it makes me angry and sad and a little bit I just don't. It makes me dislike the modern football more and more because you don't know who you can trust, and if you can't trust your football, who can you trust? That's the thing. Like, I'm just getting like tired of it all, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of my good mates is a City fan, so like, it's hard to like, not hard to talk about, but like it is a bit mad. Like when you're trying to like, what I'm trying to say is like if they'd done everything they've done in like a normal fashion and it had been like organic and they'd done it in a way that they've made money in a normal way and they've won stuff and whatever, you'd be like, you know what, use a boss. Like, and you can still say the boss now because they're a machine, but it's like it's all a bit that behind it. You're like, it's always got like that thing, like when we won the title, like and then people like behind closed doors and like asterisk next to it and all that, and you're like, well, there's an asterisk against all the stuff that they've done, and like I'd hate.
Because you can't trust it. Like, it's not like when Man United won all their trophies because you looked at them and be like, I fucking hate this, but at least they've done it in a respectful way. Like, they've done it by the books. They managed to bring in a great team together. Ferguson was obviously great doing that. Right players in, developing young players, obviously with the likes of the Beckhams and Nevilles and Giggs and Butts and with Keane. You can dislike that as much as you want, that they won many trophies and during a long period of time as well and were that good. But at the same time, you'll be like, I respect that more obviously because that's by the books. It's sport. That's what you want us to do. And when I posted something today that when someone said about Everton as well, like if they get some like minus 12 points or whatever, so they will be, at the bottom of the league, blah, blah, blah. And there was an Everton fan posting on my things that I just know him on Twitter. I don't know him personally, but I'll be like, I would be sad in one way if that happened to you, because even though it's Everton, because it feels it's not fair when they get punished and made an example when you got City with all those charges. And I said, like, if Everton done anything wrong, yes, they should be punished. And what the punishment is, like I said before, like I don't know what is fair. But at the same time, you can't just do it to one club and then just kind of forget another, where the allegations is like loads and loads. 115 charges can't just be dropped. There might be some of them, even plenty of them being dropped, but not all of them, because then there will be something dodgy, because you don't find 115 charges just like that and be like, oh, that is something you have to look at. And I just think that, like you said, everything they have won, there's something that you just feel like it's not right about. You can't respect it in the same way. You can't say, obviously they're a brilliant football team because of the players they've got and because of the money they have, used for buying them. But at the end of the day, you can't say they've done it the right way, as like Man United did, or Wenger did with Arsenal for a period of time as well. Bringing in failures in Juventus like Henry, or failures like Vieira in Milan, and them kind of players, and just brought them into being developed into world-class players in a great team that are still, obviously they're invincibles and all that. So there you can respect what happened, even though you don't like it. But what's going on with Man City, you'll be like, can't trust it, can't really take it to me and be like, yeah, cool, respectful. That's the way it is, because of the way it just feels very dodgy, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's I think it's because like I've got a good mate who's a City fan. It's a bit like it's a bit of a mad one because I'm trying to like discuss with him, and it is a bit of a weird subject when you're trying to discuss like what would you do if this happened? What would you do if this happened? If you like, I think like that stuff you mentioned about Everton, like I think it's some like it's been confirmed that fella on Twitter's like just a random fella. He's not even a reporter. Like saying Everton get minus 12 points or whatever. He's not. I think Paul Ghost like shut that down quickly, saying he's not a reporter. So like I think the Everton things is interesting, like because like the fact that they're like embroiled in all this stuff that if they've done something wrong, they should be embroiled in it. But like City have got all these charges from over all these years, and still nothing's happened, and they still get lauded as like the best, and look at how good the squad is, and look at all the stuff they've won, and you're like, well, shouldn't really be doing that if you know like the stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes. And yeah, we'll hopefully at some point in the future we'll be sat here doing a show talking about it and like discussing exactly what's happened in the aftermath, and hopefully it's something that we want, something that can help footy be better in the future. I think that's the thing we want. We don't want like the like Chelsea stuff, more about Chelsea, like Abramovich, and like he's been apparently funding expenses by selling cars and using that as expenses in the past, and you're just like all those years Chelsea were good, and you're like they were doing it through like just some fella who was like bought in, like, right, I'm going to make this team the best in the world, and I'm going to do it by any means necessary, and like just going to sell a few. I don't even know what cars are expensive, what Mustangs. I don't even know, but I'm going to sell a few of these and buy a few players and sign Drogba and sign this player, sign that player, and it's like it's just mad when you think about it, like how footy is now, and like there should be. What I'm trying to say is there should be better laws in place to stop that type of stuff happening, because we've seen it. It's like Abramovich started it all basically back in whenever he joined, was it the 2000s. But since then, like it's just been like carrying on, and like more teams, of course, Newcastle are the new ones added to that list, and they haven't, I guess, spent as much as City nowhere near yet. But you can imagine it's going to happen in the future. So it's just a bit of a mad one on it. Paul says we are in extra time. We're fully going to pens right now. We're going into pen shootouts, but we will be going very shortly. And he also says, last night I went to the pub for a beer and a chat with a mate. Tonight I had a drink with you two. Cheers, both. Yeah, nice one, Paul.
Nice one.
Yeah, appreciate that. Well, I've only got one more drink left, but we will get out of here now, because 1 hour 46 minutes is a long time to be doing a show, and we try and keep them short and sweet because we know that that's the golden ticket for most people, because we appreciate that people can't like sit at a screen or whatever. And we will be putting this up on audio. So if you're listening on audio, like we always say, Spotify, Apple, whatever you're listening on, do drop us a 5-star rating or a review, whatever you can do. We really appreciate.
And then we can point out as well, obviously this is an extra show, so if we're doing like almost like 2 hours on here, it's more because of we think it's fun and we love whoever comes in the chat or listen to it or watch it or whatever, but it's not the normal show where we maybe go for like 30, 40, 45 minutes or whatever. So this is just like, if you like it and listen to us and want to hang out with us in a way live, or listen to it back on audio when it's out, this is a different one where we might just go for an hour, or sometimes like this, almost 2 hours, because we think it's fun, and we kind of treat it as an evening off from like family things that you need to do, like having a drink and just chat. And obviously Mick and I will probably chat about different things, like if it was only us. But then obviously we got people in the chat and people coming in, checking in and writing stuff, and then we try to change topics. So it is like going to the pub in the evening, having a bit of a drink with friends, and then see what happens. It might last for half an hour, it might last for 2 hours like now, but it's just like it's fun, and it's something that is different for us anyway, to do. So we will put it out as an audio just because we want people to have it, and they will be able to access it in that way. But if you don't want to listen for all of this long time, then it's still there for you, but it's not obviously a normal show like we usually do.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. Like it's a new thing that like we're well, just things we've covered quickly. Liverpool, bread sauce, sprouts, whiskies, just random shit.
Fire alarms in hotels, pizza,
LFC official Christmas video, Guinness in Dublin, Darwin Núñez, of course, made the
cars breaking down, cars getting bought, Paul driving cars over to Sweden. So there's loads, there's plenty.
Exactly. Paul says drink and discuss can go on forever.
But then we'll be very, very drunk, I guess.
Yeah, well, I've got my last one I've got is a Glenfiddich, but I'll finish that off air because otherwise we're going to be 2 hours 15, and that's just going to be ridiculous. Paul says I loved hanging out. Thanks from Paul for jumping in. Appreciate it as always. Yeah, so we will get out of here. So like I said, if you're watching live, then yeah, really appreciate you. If you're watching on the repeat or whatever, if you're still watching now, then yeah, you're an absolute legend. If you're still listening now, then yeah, like Kristian said before, apologies, it's been a bit of a longer one than usual. Of course, the previews and the match reaction shows are always going to be 30 to 45 minutes, depending on if it's me and Kristian or if we've got a guest on. If it's a massive game with the more stuff to talk about, it's always going to take a little bit longer. But this one's been probably the longest show I've ever done, and I've been doing these shows for 5 years, and I've always said people who do streams for 2 hours are mad. But I think when you've got the comments coming in and whatever, and you've got loads of stuff to talk about, it's always good to do. But yeah, really appreciate Kristian jumping on as always. We appreciate you guys for watching or listening or watching on a repeat, whatever you're doing. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we've done the first episode was last week. We've done the second episode now this week. So we will try and fit in episode 3. We'll try and keep it under, I think let's aim for under an hour and a half next week. I think that's anything under that is the goal for next week.
Yeah, and also like we never know if obviously we try to have it, once a week, but you never know. Like if it doesn't fit in and we can't do it because of family stuff or work or things, that's just the thing. It's not just like the normal show, so it might just pop up whenever we feel like we can have time for it. Obviously, even though we want to do it as much as we can, because it's nice with the drink. It's nice with having a chat.
Yeah, I think once a week is like, even if it doesn't happen, like I think it's a good goal to have, because especially like it's a long one and we can talk about whatever. But yeah, we are out of here. Of course, if you want to drop us a follow on Twitter, on Instagram at Kopite Podcast. If you're watching, all that information's on the bottom of the screen. So if you want to follow me and Kristian, or you want to follow Kopite Podcast on Insta or Twitter or even TikTok, which, yeah, bit of a weird platform now. Like we do post stuff on there, but it's a bit of a weird place. Then yeah, go and follow us on there. But yeah, like I said, nice one, Kristian. Nice one to everyone for watching / listening, whatever you're doing. Hope you're having a good week, and we'll see you all very soon. Up the Reds.
I'm Jamie Carragher, and you are listening to the Kopite Podcast.